My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some compassion, some humor, and some style. Keeping culture alive is what we are doing. Thank you. And I must say hello to Ms. James for supporting us with the interns every year from their career. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear it again for Angela Series, organization that's going to bring almost 300 people in Eastern Parkway in a few months. Thank you for your leadership on behalf of the Brooklyn Borough President, Eric L. Adams. Let me introduce to you our roving ambassador for Cacci, Mr. William Lake, who is actually working with us on some major projects in our office for transition as we move on to our new project. And he is also retired, I understand. We're ready to retire. I think he is retired. Please put your hands together and give him a round of applause for those of us who are from the Netherlands and Philippines. All of these great islands, put your hands together and welcome our ambassador. William?
Thank you, Dr. Hastic. Thank you, Cacci. Most people here and will probably say they're from Barbados, Jamaica, Barbados, yes, we will, the Virgin Islands. I am a proud, and I'm going to have to do this really interestingly, I'm a proud Curacao, St. Martiner, Aruban. I came to Cacci primarily because I am not a Montrealcian, but Montreal blew up. And the business community in Montreal needed a spokesperson outside of Montreal. And I don't know who voted for me. I was not popular election, but I got a phone call. And I called Cacci. And we did some great things, especially with the temporary protected status for a lot of the business people and their hot springs over in the U.S., especially in Boston. So that was something that was great. But I am not from Montreal. So where am I from? Next, I am not from Barbuda. But the call came that Barbudans were about to lose their land because of issues with the federal government. Their federal government happens to be on Antigua. And so we've gotten involved in that, and that is still in the process of working itself out. Interestingly, well, yeah, I am not from St. Martin, but I live in St. Martin. I've got lots of family in St. Martin. My roots are in St. Martin. And I've done a lot of work there with the St. Martin Business Association, SMBA. And again, that prompted us to have 7 a.m. phone calls with Dr. Hastings. With half of St. Martin on the phone, well, with a small version of that. Many, many weeks in a row. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock thereabouts. So that went on for quite some time, a number of years. Not weeks, but years. But that was the St. Martin issue. But I have roots in Anguilla. And they too, their business association. And the list goes on. Their partnership we put together in Cordoba, real estate holders, and the list goes on and on and on. So who am I? I'm not like to rebrand myself. I am a Caribbean man. Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes it's very difficult when people ask you where you're from. And I have to go back and think. I spent almost a year in Barbados, and I have a little Barbadian accent. Then I spent time in the Virgin Islands, British and US, and then Antigua and so on and so forth. So I too have rebranded myself to be a Caribbean man. Let me ask you to put your hands together. Welcome a dynamo, a lady with a vision and a passion, not only in diplomacy when she was at the Trinidad and Tobago Consulate as one of the Foreign Service persons there. But she reached out to me and said that, you know, we got to get together. My prime ministers are coming in and they need to meet you. And there's something about Trinidad and Grenada, because those of us who are Grenadians should know that there are many Grenadians who live in Trinidad. And also my diaspora, who is not doing well right now, but he sent to us a CD for us to play this morning. Please keep him in your prayers. It's Miss Joseph still here, who brought that message to me. Sparrow is from Grenada, and he migrated to Trinidad and Tobago, to Mary Walters' nation. But I thank you very much for all of your help many years ago, and still working hard for us to bridge the gap, to bring our people together, to unify our people, and to make sure that we leave our legacy behind. Yes. I want to make sure that we have a history museum at the Caribbean Trade Center complex, not complex, but Trade Center units, with some of the people who left us and some that are here that are making contributions. And I thank God I can stand here for almost 2 hours with my memory at this time to remember some of the folks who paved the way for me, because I did not do it alone. You all helped me. Whether you are white, whether you are Hispanic, whether you are Asians, whether you are Jewish, whether you are African American or Caribbean American, we all did it together. And please give yourselves a round of applause for all what you do, not only for me, but for our children and our grandchildren. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Mary B. Walters, and the B is Barbara Walters. And she is not the other Barbara Walters, she is before that Barbara Walters.
Thank you, Lord. Wish to thank your former president for this, Mr. Adams, for this award, especially Cacci, because I have been a member from inception. I worked hard with them, and as he said, I was on a mission to the UN. I also joined Stadium in 1972 when I went over to the Institute of International Education. There I did procurement for the third world countries, and my supervisor said one day, join the Women's Traffic Club. I didn't know what it was, but I went, and my diversity was minimal. But I stayed with them, and I was the 54th president, and the 54th black president of the Trinidad and Tobago, of the American Institute, of the Women's Traffic Club of New York. And from there, I learned so much that I decided to bring what I learned to my community. And after being involved with various Trinidad and Tobago and Caribbean organizations, I now serve again as with Tatuka. I am still there, and the auxiliary of Kings County Hospital, which is near to my heart, and which I started the immigration drive and also voters registration, because that is my passion. So I thank you again. I really have 2 grown children now. They were babies when they came here mostly. But one is in South Carolina. He has his own business, and my daughter is a CPA, and she had a very important meeting this morning, so she could not come. So again, I thank everyone, and I will continue to bridge the gap between Caribbean and America. Thank you.
Wow. You know, sometimes you younger people would wonder why we those of us who are getting, I would say younger, not older. Am I right, Mr. Cyrus? Let's give our elders a round of applause. Our next honoree, I know him. I don't need to look at a piece of paper because I call him my friend and brother. I've known him for over 35 years. He's a former New York State Senator of Panamanian descent, and he will tell you Cuban and Jamaican and everything else. But someone who fought when I came here in the 70s for all of us. Whether it is the President of the United States, Dr. Stewart would get on the phone and call me up and ask me to be there. We convened meetings, but he was always teaching us about politics. Many of the leaders you see here this morning came through the Waldorf Stewart School. It wasn't easy in those days with limited resources. He had the ideas to talk about free trade between the US and the Caribbean. He mounted trips to the Caribbean, to Latin America, elsewhere, with no funding. He started projects and programs with that same energy. He gave out ideas. It was his idea when we had a summit once at the Grand Prospect Hall. He charged all of us to do something. What are you waiting on? Start a chamber of commerce. Start a school. Look at Medgar Evers College, where he is right now. I remember when Medgar Evers College had one building. Today there are 4 or 5 buildings with over 7,000 students. A Caribbean American Research Center, and I understand that they're going towards 10,000 students soon. There is so much here, my friends, that all of us have been able to make contributions. And I always say, don't give up. Let's partner, let's collaborate. Today we had, and I don't know if she left, someone who flew in from the Dominican Republic, from the Export Promotion Office and Investment Office that's based in Barbados, but she is in Dominican Republic, and they are putting together an investment conference here in New York next year. And she came to ask Cacci to partner with her. I did not do that alone. It was Wally's idea many years ago, talking about two-way trade, trade and investment, etc., etc. And I want to say this before he gave us his remarks. Many of us start climbing. Not too many of us make it to the top. Some pass away. Some had challenges along the way. And a few of us succeed. I want to say to Dr. Walters today, thank you, sir, for helping me to conceptualize a trade center concept. And you are still part of that dream. You are still part of the structure. The rendering you saw there today, it was your help. Somebody had to go to the summit. It took its toll in 2008. I had a stroke and I'm walking with a cane like you. But I was able, with your help and your mentoring, to follow your instructions. So ladies and gentlemen, my mentor friend and brother, Senator Waldemar Stewart.
They get sick and slow down some.
I did not know what
Well, that's what
I did not know what I was going to say. And as I stood there, I said, I remember the story of Moses freeing his people from Egypt. And from the time I came into this country, fleeing racism and apartheid in Panama, where they threatened to kill me. Okay? I was bent on leaving or working to lead our people out of bondage. I began to talk to the son of Marcus Garvey. And I have since made myself a disciple of Marcus Garvey. And that is how they know me in Central America, where I work to implement the dreams of Marcus Garvey. But I knew that first I had to work on the diaspora, because part of our salvation must come from our diaspora. If you know your biblical story, the people of Israel came from Egypt. Think about that.
can't tell
From
them that.
Egypt. In other words, they were Africans.
Yes.
Okay?
And they might
And
went down to
because
Ghana.
there was a drought, they went to Egypt. And from Egypt, Moses had to take them into the promised land. So I knew I had to come to the diaspora, and I made it my business to be part of the Churches Stewart Revolution, which most of you may not know, took place in 1968. That's when Churchism was elected for Congress and I was elected for state senator. And you know what the opposition campaign was? That we were foreigners. And that was our migrant brothers calling us immigrants foreigners. So it is there we began. The next level of where we collectively came took place at Prospect Hall, where all our major leaders were, including Mary Waters, who worked hard on the Shirley Chisholm Stewart campaign, the one that spoke before me. Okay? And we said at Prospect Hall, we had to have a chamber of commerce. And that we have done. We had to have a woman, a Caribbean woman in health. And that we have done. We had to have a Caribbean research center, and that we have done. Okay? That's heavy, I think. We also said that was the structure piece. We had to say we had to change the gerrymandering so that we could have our rightful presentation in Brooklyn, New York. And we did that. We now, don't tell anybody outside, we now control Brooklyn, but we don't know it. When I see every Adams, remember the borough president is the head of Brooklyn. Sometimes we disrespect ourselves. He is our Brooklyn leader. We put him there. Okay? That's where we are. I'm told to be short, and I will be. We have a challenge before us. We have achieved our goals here, but we have left struggles at home.
Yes.
See? And I want us to begin to talk of ourselves as the diaspora of our people at home. And that is going to become more important in the new America, where people of Caucasian background will no longer be the majority. People get killed for that kind of condition. I'm not saying that we must be in that struggle, but remember, it's one world, and therefore, if we are united with our world back home, and we enable them to achieve the same goals that we have achieved here, we are invincible. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stern. Thank you, Dr. Stern. Thank you so much. Moving. We're about to close in a few minutes, but I would like to ask Arthur Roosevelt, the president and founder of the Long Island City Chamber of Commerce, Her Excellency Donna Parks, and the representative of Greg Bishop, Mr. Cyrus. Please come forward. This is a business networking meeting, and we cannot stop without sharing our business resources with all of you who are here. And you can share it with your employees, your friends, your family, because as we say, at every meeting, business networking works. So we're going to start off with Her Excellency, Donna Parks.
Good afternoon, Dr. Cacci, other members of Cacci, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here once again amongst the supporters of Cacci. I have been here as Consul General of Barbados at New York. And first of all, let me bring greetings on behalf of my government and the people of Barbados, as well as on behalf of the Consulate General of Barbados at New York and Team Barbados. From the time I came here 4 years ago as Consul General, and I met Doctors Hastic, they welcomed me, they opened their arms, and they made me an extension of their family, so to speak. And whenever I attended their breakfast meetings, the same feeling of welcome was extended beyond from the members of Cacci and the guests. And I must say that Cacci is very, very important to the diaspora. It's important because, one, it's a Caribbean body, Caribbean American body, and it represents investment, business, and entrepreneurship. And we as Caribbean people live it, but I don't want to say displaced because you're not displaced, but you have taken on US, the America as a new home. And we have to support each other. I know the tendency is to stay in your little corner, so you have your Barbadian community, Trinidadians, Guyanese, etc. But as I said, we need to come together as one big Caribbean body, a united front. Because when the laws are made and discrimination happens, it happens to all of us. I know that years ago we attempted to have the federation, and we have CARICOM, and you still have a few people in CARICOM trying to jostle and stuff like that. But we have to persevere, we have to be our brother's keeper, and we have to help each other. One of the things I want to say especially, and I heard it mentioned, I think by Judge Radix, we have to invest in our young people. Our youth are not recognizing with the Caribbean, and it's our fault. Because we have not told the stories, we have not inculcated the values of our forefathers that made us who we are today and developed the places from whence we came. And it's unfortunate that a lot of the organizations are in jeopardy of being defunct because they don't have anyone to pass the baton to. So I ask each and every one of you to make your individual pledge, speak to your children, try to help guide them, let them know their roots, from whence they came, and even beyond the Caribbean, from Africa. We need to understand our roots and our history, and therefore determine our legacy. And once again, Dr. Hastic, I thank you for having me here. I don't know how much longer I'll be here among you, but it has been a pleasure, and I thank you very much.
Your Excellency, just want to mention that we have a lot of respect for you. And as we do here in the United States, a president is always a president. You'll hear that President Clinton or President Obama, even though we have President Trump, we still have a system of government where we respect you as the Consul General of Barbados. And I just wanted to say this, that when this goes viral, your new Prime Minister, Mia Motley, who I met many years ago, and her friend was just here, you know Motley Wilson, and an advisor to her is Arthur Rosenfeld, would know that you are a valuable resource for the continuation of the Federation. When I think back that I had no position when I started CACI, and when I think where I am today, to convene these meetings, to bring the resources that are available, that are here for us. Whenever I get a little depressed, my wife would say, "Hon, think about what we have done for our people.